Live here on YouTube, this is the Rich Lieberman Media Pulse. I have to address this because I'm one who doesn't ignore shit, which I should for the most part, but I react and that's okay. I don't mind this because it allows me to form clarity, a word that I like so much. Now, the last few weeks, I've been getting these assholes who tell me they're going to report me to YouTube and the president and the CIA. I mean, not really the last two people, but in essence, they're assholes, and they're jealous, and they lecture me and tell me that I'm this and I'm that and yada yada. I don't know who the hell they are. The funniest thing is these schmucks are watching me. That's what I try to kind of break down and ask the obvious question. If I'm so revolting, if I'm so absolutely onerous to their cause, then why the hell are they looking at me? Why are they watching me? That'd be the last thing I would do. Is there was somebody that was an antagonist or somebody that who I found revolting and disgusting and ad nauseum exhausting, I sure as hell would not be listening to them or watching them. Oh, maybe every once in a while I'd kind of hone in on them to see what I was missing or, that kind of a thing. So let me get some things cleared out here. Okay. First off, I am gaining traction. People are watching me, people who are even disgusted at me and hate my guts and think I'm, absolutely horrific and all that. It's Thank you. Thank you for coming here, despite the fact that you say that I'm revolting and all that. Okay, that's number one. Number two, if you're going to report me, spell my name right. It's Lieberman, not Lei. I hate that. Okay. Third, and this is perhaps something that I have to get out there. Folks, I ain't making anything off of this. When I put out word and I offer, I say things like, solicitations for contributions and all that. There are plenty of other people doing the same thing, albeit perhaps a little bit more veiled. I'm sort of outspoken in that regard because this is hard to do content, even shitty content. It's hard to constantly do new stuff every day, especially when it's in the beginning of summer and people are on vacation and you really have to act stupid and goofy and create manufactured carp to get attention. I don't need the attention that much. I mentioned the fact that the Ron Owens, Laura Owens thing is a big story. It is. It is not, life and death, but it's a big story, And then I had the trolls come out in force, and then people were telling me I was being bought off, and it really is the internet in full action mode. It creates this humongous monster. If you're gonna put me out of business and threaten me, it ain't for my livelihood because I ain't making anything here so far. I've only been doing it a year, a little over a year and a half, actually. So please get that through your cranium, the little cranium that you have. And, you know, people, there's what I call the silent minority. There's a silent majority, excuse me, who watch me and have told me that they like what they see. And even if they don't like what they see, that I'm watchable and that I'm funny when I try to be not funny. And when I'm, and even when I'm trying to be funny, some of you like it, some of you don't. Some of you could give a rat's spittoon and on all that. So I just do what I do. Not out to hurt anybody. People are out to hurt me in terms of threatening me as if this is my livelihood. It ain't my livelihood, folks. Now, I enjoy doing this. Everybody's got an ego, including moi, but not to the extent that this is going to make or break my life. It's a privilege to be on here. It is a privilege to be able to broadcast on a valued entity like YouTube. Of course, you vilify me for that. Of course you will. I hope so. And it's thrilling and cathartic to talk and to get feedback, which I have from various future stalkers like, psychics and internet providers and internet story content people and all that. And I wasn't doing the Ron Owens thing to get their attention. I just happened to react, give you my assessment of what was taking place, talk about Ron, be very open about the fact that I had no dog, as they say, in the fight, that I wanted Ron to come clean. And I mean that in a very civilized, dignified way. And Jan Black, who's Ron's wife, with regard to the pending criminal case involving their daughter. And I thought I was about as open as possible in describing my situation. And of course, you have the idiots and the schmucks who have their own vision in the world, if they have even that, and who wanted to vilify me, take me to task, were angry that I had the audacity to ask for contributions so that I can stay alive broadcasting here and giving content to YouTube and doing all of the above. And then I had these schmucks, most of whom are interns probably at various Bay Area radio outlets, or people who are just frankly annoyed at me and they've never liked me. And that's fine. That's good, what they say, content. That's good. If it was radio, it would be good radio. Or if it was this, then it would be good interactive stuff like that. But in this case, they come after me and they say this and that, and they try to put and invoke fear in me. Folks, you know what I'm fearful of? I'm fearful of growing too old, in which your body is just basically rejecting everything. And it was like, telling you just fucking get lost. People who value life, I value life and I want to live as much as I can, but not at the expense of feeling wretched and old and having chronic bouts with age and eyes and toes and feet and head and all that stuff. That's life in reality. Doing this is a privilege. You talk, you schmooze a little. I explain to you my feelings. Occasionally, I break a few stories. I talk about the media. I give you my opinion as to why I think that much of the public is distrustful of media, why they can't stand certain ways and means in which the media partakes in their whatever missives they have today. That's my reality. You threatening me to go to YouTube and making life miserable, that's not life is miserable. That's something to which a privilege has been taken away from me. And that's fine. If that's the way it's going to be, I have no control over that. I'm not going to go on the comments, lie and talk to various people with fake names. I call them the YouTube anonymous crowd, as opposed to my Google anonymous posters, who like to come on, make accusations and charges and this, that, and the other. And of course, they're under a pseudonym and nobody knows who the hell I are. They probably former program directors or groupies or interns that used to work at sports stations in San Francisco, or people in advertising who can't stand me and all that. Hey, look, there are times that I can't stand me. I mean, look at this. I look like it in the game of hide and go seek. My opening line to women is, don't scream. I have to deal with schmucks like you every day, and that's fine. That's not really hard work, folks. That's just an inconvenience. It's kind of funny. It's like having hecklers that are not vocal, but they're out there. It's called the internet. And I've dealt with this long enough now to where this is the beast that it is. We're not going to do anything to change it. It's called the way of life in which we exist, where dissent and disagreement, which used to be debated civilly and within boundaries that were considered within the core, and everything was cool. And now we have the keyboard, as I call them, and you have called them, some of you, keyboard cowards who live behind a computer, who eat Kentucky Fried Chicken or stale 7-Eleven sandwiches that were bought the night before at around 12 o'clock in the morning. And these guys, and most of them are guys, they go home and they go be on their computers and they just do the damnedest things. If they were just merely contrarians, and if you said the sun is nice, they'd say the sun sucks. Or if you said, like I do, that rain is nice, then they would say the rain sucks. And of course, if they said the rain sucks, you would, it's just that kind of back and forth babble. And that's what it is. It's babble. But schmuckos, listen to me. You threatening me, that's not threat. That's wanting to inject fear into me. And you can report me all you want, but I got news for you. When you report, they have your name and all that, your fake name as it is, but they know about you and they possibly will investigate you and your daily lives on the internet, with specifically Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and Blue Sky, wherever the fuck well, in your case, it's probably, where Reader's Digest, if they were still around. But so I'm not threatened by that. I'm going to continue to talk, if not in this arena, somewhere else, perhaps, as long as I'm alive for the time being, because I never take a day or an hour or a second for granted. But don't come to me and threaten things. We're going to report you because, you're just fed up because I took a position and I was a little loud. Maybe I was doing a British accent. Maybe I was trying to be funny and be non-internety and more, thoughts of being humorous and all that. And you took offense to it. So you got your other two friends that you have in the history of your life and told them, hey, report this guy Lieberman. Yeah. And lastly, as far as me asking for contributions, everybody does it. Billionaires do it. Sean Hannity, Michael Savage, Bill O'Reilly, all doing very, 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 very well. Mark Levin, they all ask for money. Oh, some of it do it a little bit more, shall we say, secretly. But those coffee mugs and those, give money to our defense fund, that's all money that goes to them. They like money and they have a lot of money. So me, the one-man band here that dares to put out content, would like just to have the opportunity to have funds that will enable me to pay bills, electronic gadgets that enable me to do research and follow up on tips that I get presented to me on various media entities like television stations and radio stations, where perhaps somebody got angry with somebody at a TV news station wants something or someone outed. So they call me, or more than likely email me and ask me to get to the bottom of it, which, by the way, I like doing. For the most part, these are really good people who just want some rightness put out to correct wrongness. That takes and requires lots of time and money. I am not a millionaire. I'm somebody trying to exist and survive. So yes, every now and then, and it's done all over the vast internet, people, and they might do it in as I said, a little secretive way. They ask for contributions because in my case, it allows me to survive and pay the bills so that I can fortunately lose less money than I already have and not have to beg, borrow, and steal from others to keep me going, because a good majority of you like what I've done. And a good majority of you continue to say that you like what I have done. And thank God that you have contributed. And I appreciate your support. I appreciate all of you who said, you know what? You suck. We disagree with you, but we like your content and we watch you. Those are people that I really have the highest regard. People that say, we don't agree with you, but we like what you put out. And they're not the asshole cowards and the crowd that I love it. Oh, we're going to report you. And they're constantly the people that show up and want to watch me do whatever I do. Okay. So I appreciate that. And some of you are schmucks and some of you are not schmucks. And the great majority of you are civil and have a good time. And, look, I invite dissent. Yes, it is my duty as the managing editor of my own show. I regulate and oversee the comments. If I don't like the comments, don't publish them. If somebody is disagreeing with me and they want to be anonymous and they have constructive criticism, I will publish those comments. If you get personal, if you inject your own vitriol and maybe make anti-Semitic remarks or call me certain things or lay verbal attacks on my mother, who is deceased and has been for almost 7 years, yeah, I'm not going to publish those comments. Sorry, hate to mess your day up. So I had to come out and say this. I'm glad you're watching. Thank you. And hopefully we will see you. We will. Trust me. And thank you for being a passionate observer of this site.